Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and greetings. Today, me and my group will present to you about our group project 1 for Fundamental Financial Accounting and Reporting ACC407. First of all, we would like to thank you to our lecturer, Madam Nurliza, for guiding us in order for us to finish this project. For this project, we had to conduct an interview to a business in order to gain the information about the business, including business characteristic, whether it is sole proprietorship business or partnership business or limited company business. We also need to find the classification business items such as current and non-current asset, liabilities, expenses, revenues, and owner's equities. And then we need to find how did the business record their business transaction. And lastly, we discuss strength and weakness of the business using our opinion. We choose Bayu Corner Enterprise as the business that we will interview. Our group consists of 6 members. As you can see in the picture on the slide, starting from the left is Muhammad SYAMIL, followed by HAFIZI and Muhammad Nu'man. The person in the middle is the owner of Bayu Corner Enterprise that we have interviewed. And then beside him is myself, Muhammad Amir MUBARAQ, followed by Muhammad NAQIB, and lastly AHMAD HAZEEM. We proceed to introduction. Our group has conducted a physical interview with the owner of Bayu Corner Enterprise on 8 December 2023. From the interview, we gain the nature of business, which is the offering catering services and also selling Malay cuisine. Catering services run every weekend, while the restaurant runs every day starting at 12 noon and ending at 10 p.m. on weekdays. Bayu Corner Enterprise is owned by the owner himself, and it is sole proprietorship type of business. For the owner's background, the owner's name is Encik Amri bin Madin. He is 49 years old and has been involved in business for 19 years and origin from Kedah. He is a great person because his main job is actually a teacher. He teaches students in the morning and then he handles the restaurant in the evening. He also participates in completing the catering services every week.
So, now I will present the business characteristic. There is a lot of characteristic in accounts such as registration, capital, ownership, management and control, liability, profit or loss, and book and accounts. I'm sure there is more characteristic, but what I mentioned just now is only what I just learned. Now we go to the business background. For the opening, we can see that the business run by Mr. Amri bin Madin himself, which is we can relate that he is doing sole proprietorship business organization. This business already started almost 20 years ago, which is it established in 2004. So we can see this business stay remain in this industry for a long time. The business operating as physical store, just like the name, Bayu Corner are located at the corner of row of shops. This store, placed at Kota Bayu Mas Kelang, this location actually does not have a quite strong background in business. It more concentrated to housing and manufacturing. So here we can see the owner did a really good decision to initiate his business here because of less competition. Before existence of Bayu Corner, owner started catering business that can serve up to 10 people for one reservation. Okay, so Bayu Corner basically provide customer with Malay cuisine food. And not forget to mention that the specialty of owner is any food that related with lamb because he mentioned before that he studied at Egypt for 5 years. With the experience that he had, he brought the recipe to here and modified the recipe accordingly to suitability of local community. So Bayu Corner right now have 6 employees in total, which is 2 chef, 1 barista, 1 cashier, and 2 waiter. The best part of this business is owner use all his personal savings and profit from his small business to start the Bayu Corner, which is profit from the catering business before. So, for the business registration, the owner registered his business with Suruhan Jaya Syarikat Malaysia (SSM) to get the legal permission to run the business. For the sole proprietorship, the business are registered with business registration under Business Registration Act 1957. As we know, SSM's main activity is a company incorporation and business registration agency in addition to providing company and business information to the public. As the main leader towards improving the level of corporate governance, SSM perform its function of regulating compliance with corporate legislation and business registration through comprehensive enforcement.
So, we will discuss about the business characteristics of Bayu Corner Enterprise. As mentioned before, Bayu Corner Enterprise is a sole proprietorship type of business. So, all things that are related to the business are handled and controlled by the owner himself. For example, the owner have the rights to give orders to his employees to do this or to do that, as long as the job is related to the business and within the capabilities of the employee. Furthermore, the decision making is done by the owner. All business activities such as business expansion or business goals are decided by the owner. So next, we will discuss about the next characteristics, which is liability. Since it is Baikona Enterprise is a sole proprietorship type of business, it has unlimited liabilities. So what's the difference between unlimited liabilities and limited liabilities? Basically, unlimited liabilities if the business fails or the business went bankrupt and the assets are not enough to cover the debt, the payables or the creditors have the rights against the owner's personal assets, meaning that owner's personal assets are not protected. For limited liabilities, if the business went bankrupt or the business fails and the assets are not enough to cover the debt of the business, the payables or the creditors do not have the rights against the owner's personal asset. So next we will discuss about the classification of business items. There are 5 main items in business, which is assets, liability, expenses, revenue, and owner's equity. So we will go through one by one. The first one is assets. What is assets actually? Assets is basically properties that owned by the owner, or in a simple terms, assets are things that hold value. And assets are divided into two categories, which is current assets and non-current assets. Current assets is what's the difference between current assets and non-current assets? Current assets is a type of assets that either cash or can be converted into cash within 1 year. This form of assets usually change their form during an accounting period. In Biocoin Enterprise, the current assets that they have is cash in hand and cash at bank, goods, and account receivable. Next will be the non-current assets. Non-current assets is a type of assets that the business do not intend to convert it into cash within 1 year. Usually, non-current assets are related to the business operations and it has a useful life more than 1 year. The example of non-current asset that Biocoin Enterprise has is furniture, equipment, and fixture and fittings.
Hello, my name is Muhammad NAQIB bin NAZMI. I will elaborate more for the next classification for business item, which is liability and business expenditure. For business liabilities, from the starting of the business, Owner himself does not take any loan or make any debt to run his business. Owner just take small scale orders, and with the profit he has, he begin to increase the business capital. Next is about purchases. Owner only make purchase by cash and not involved by making any debt. For example, in purchasing goods made at Pasar Borong for daily use, the seller at Pasar Borong are not taking any credit purchase, and all the payment are made accepted by cash only. Expenses based on the interviewing before, for monthly utility bills are 1,000. Second, shop rent are 1,000 too. Next, employees' salaries. As mentioned before, business has 6 employees and business paid 1,200 ringgit every employee. So, the total employee salary is 7,200 ringgit every month. For store maintenance, around 200 ringgit per year. And carriage outward and accounting service fee are not mentioned in details from the interviewing.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad SYAMIL. Let's continue our discussion about the classification of business item. Today, I will talk about the revenue and honest equity of the Bayu enterprise. Alright, for the revenue, first of all, the main business sales is approximately RM2,000 daily. The word sales in this sentence mean their service or what they are doing, which is food and beverage service, customer service, and so on. Secondly, as written on the slide, which the owner also engaged in monthly catering service, offering kambing golek as part of their menu. For example, at their weekends, they usually got offered by someone who are organizing ceremony, such as wedding ceremony, akikah ceremony, and more. For the catering service, the main menu of food is roasted mutton, and the price is based of how many goat used at that time. Lastly, the business usually has high sale during festive season, such as Hari Raya Aidilfitri. This is because during festive season, most of people wants to do open house, or in Malay we call this as rumah terbuka. The owner also said that their business can get about double and also triple amount of normal sales at this time. Moving on, now I will explain about honest equity. What is honest equity? Honest equity represents owner supply funds to the business for the acquisition of assets for the business. First point, owner contribute capital using his personal saving. The owner, Encik Amri himself, said that before he started the business, he used his own money to buy the cooking equipment and also used his own car to buy the groceries. Another one, drawings are made by the owners for his own use. For example, when he want to eat or drink something in his restaurant, he doesn't need to pay for it.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the recording process of the business. So, during our interview with the owner of Bayu Enterprise, Ustaz Amri, we get a lot of information about their recording process during the business operation. So, the first is source document. Source document is a written or electronic record that provides evidence of financial transaction. It is to maintain accuracy and to complete financial records. Example of the source document is invoices, bills, receipts, debit, or credit notes. So, in this business, there are no business record transaction. It means the owner doesn't take any source document during the transaction happen. Okay, for the sale, usually the owner will aim for 2,000 ringgit per day. So it means their income in a day is about 2,000, and in monthly the income will be about 60,000 ringgit. For the expenditure, the owner will record it in monthly. The owner will combine all the daily expenditures in that month and will record it in monthly expenses. For the journals and ledgers, Journals is a record where financial transactions are initially recorded. It is purpose to provide history of business financial transaction. And the ledger is a record from the journal that contains all the accounts used by business and its detailed and classify all summary transaction. So for this business, the owner doesn't make any journals and ledgers during the business happen. So there are no journals and ledgers are made by the owner in this business. For accounting software is a software to record the financial transaction. In this business, there are no accounting software used by the business. So all the record and the cash flow are recorded by manually. The manual records under by A&M Trading yearly, they will hire finance club. It means they will hire another accountant to do a yearly record for the business. For financial statement is formal record that provides summary of financial activities and position of the business. So during in this business, the owner doesn't prepare any proper financial statement. So there is no financial statements included in this business. Next is our opinion about this business. So for the recording process, the owner doesn't make appropriate way in recording the business process. As you can see from the previous slides, the owner doesn't keep any source document, doesn't make any journals, ledgers, and doesn't have any proper financial statement. So it is not a real way in recording the business process according the accounting way. The next is mode of business. So the business are operating physically. As we can see from the previous slide, all the business process are doing by manually and physically. So that's why the mode of the business is operating in physically. So as we can see, we can categorize a few strengths and weaknesses about the business. So the first strength is no need to worry about recording details. What we can say about this strength is it implies a simplified and user-friendly experience. It also can reducing the burden on users to manage or remember intricate recording details. So it doesn't need to worry about recording details. So the business doesn't be burdened about the recording details. The next is no need to declare tax. It can be perceived as a strength for the business because it can simplify financial responsibility and reduce administrative burdens. It also can lead to more straightforward financial management process and potentially save time and effort in this business. The next is easy to generate money by daily income. As we can see, this business is generate the income by daily, so it's easy for them to get money in daily. The next is weaknesses. So the first is easy to get corrupt. As we can see, the business doesn't have any proper financial statement. So because they doesn't have any proper financial statement, so the process of business will be the misleading and the business will get corrupt easily. And next is no accurate amount in any classification business item. That is because when there are no source document, there are no journals and ledgers, so they doesn't have any accurate amount for their transaction. So the classification of business item is not accurate, and it will become the misleading in the business. The next is no backup resources. So when there is no source document for the transaction, so there are no backup resources for their transaction document. So when there are no backup resources, so they cannot look back or they cannot trace the business transaction when they want to look to the expenses and sales for their business.